Yo, what is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Another week of the LEC in the books. Another really fun and interesting week with some surprise results. Some teams looking better than we expected, worse than we expected, and everything in between. We're actually now getting into kind of a weird part in the schedule where we have a break. There's actually not going to be any LEC or LCS games over the weekend, so we have a little bit of extra time to dissect not only all the games from this weekend, but also just how all the teams are looking so far through like the first half of the summer split or whatever. But today in this video, I mostly want to talk about Fnatic and just kind of giving an overall update for them, because they had some interesting things happen last week and this week, and the future is, I think, interesting as well. I don't want to say interesting 50 million times, but I don't know. That's what we're going with. First, a word from today's sponsor, which is, of course, Prize Picks. This is daily fantasy simplified. All you got to do is pick over or under on player props to win up to 10x your cash. Big payouts, 24/7 live support, fast and secure withdrawals. This site has everything you could possibly be looking for in a daily fantasy website and app. Some of the picks I'm looking at for tomorrow: Zhao, I'm going over 6.5 kills against UP in the first two matches. And then I'm actually looking at Nuguri, big name, popular player. This guy is very volatile. Sometimes he pops off. Sometimes he runs it down a little bit. I'm going under 5 kills in the first two matches against NS tomorrow. We'll see how these picks, pan out. But if you want to make some picks of your own, definitely check out the first link in the description below, where Prize Picks actually going to match your first deposit up to $100, which is a really awesome deal, really awesome offer. So thank you so much to them for supporting me, giving you guys that deal. Hopefully you guys check them out. With that being said, let's get right into this. So last week, if we look at Fnatic, they kind of had an interesting week. They actually dropped a game to Mad Lions, that they didn't look very good overall. A lot of the same mistakes that people were kind of criticizing them for towards the end of last split, especially in the playoffs. It just seemed like, hey, Fnatic, they were good at times during the spring regular season, but then they kind of faltered out, and then now they're really not looking that great overall again. They lost Excel in the first week, then they lose to Mad Lions in week 2. This team's supposed to be one of the 2 best teams in Europe, like one of the 2 or 3 best teams. This team's supposed to be a world team, a really good team, a dominant team. They keep dropping games all over the place. Yes, they did go on to beat Team BDS, but people were just really concerned. Were we seeing the same mistakes from Fnatic once again? Razork kind of looking lost, Humanoid dying a bunch early, Upset and Hylissang just not being as good as they maybe could be, or people think they could be, or people hope they would be. And we got some weird things going on. We actually got this from Razork. This is from the Fnatic subreddit. This is a screenshot I had because I thought this tweet might get deleted. And I think Razork did delete this tweet because I couldn't find it on his Twitter anymore. But he said, I believe in Spanish, he said, "What a bitch, tilted from the start. Oh my God, we haven't played anything and the communication has been shit. I want to scream." And some people were saying that some of this might not be exactly translated perfectly. Some people are saying, hey, Spanish has a lot of like passion and expression and stuff in their language, and it doesn't really come across the same in English. He's actually not saying anything that terrible or that crazy or whatever, but we do know, dating back to the spring, Razork definitely had some issues of like, being happy or fitting in or being comfortable with the Fnatic team and the organization and how they were playing and all that stuff. Definitely seemed like Razork's play was affected overall, and he was always kind of tweeting like some sad-ish stuff, or just seeming like a lot of the stress and pressure and stuff was getting to him. And then again, he wasn't always playing that well on the Rift either. So some people were concerned, like, oh, is there some drama, crazy stuff going on behind the scenes with Fnatic again? We know Fnatic brought in this Sens guy to, help with the communication and help with the stress and help with some of the pressure, and hopefully have everyone, performing better, like a more well-oiled machine, helping out some of these players like Razork feel more comfortable overall. So Fnatic can just focus on the Rift issues and not have to, be fighting this, multiple fronts all at once. This was definitely concerning. People were wondering what the heck was going on. And again, this is after Fnatic had lost to Mad Lions in a pretty ugly game overall. But we did get a little clarification from this whole thing. We got this from Yamato coming into the weekend. He said, "We had a lot of work to do coming into this week," talking about last week, and still do. "We struggled with harsh illness, and the main goal was to get through this week whole. It wasn't pretty, but we endured. We're far from where we want to be, and I hope we can start next week with everyone fit." He says, "I'd like to thank the fans for their continued support. I will put my head down and continue to work as hard as I can." So, some people might say, oh, he's just making excuses or whatever, but then some people could be like, oh, they had a sickness, they had an illness. Hopefully they're doing better now, maybe that kind of puts an asterisk on that week. Maybe that's why they didn't look as great. Maybe it's like why they looked a little bit rough. But if that's the case, then hey, they need to bounce back into the next weekend. They need to look good. And that is just what Fnatic did, and that is just what Razork did, and that is what is very, very exciting. All of a sudden, Fnatic took down Astralis. This was a really, really good game. Upset going 7-0 on the Zeri. Wonder looking really, really good on the Gragas, 2-1-9. Razork, a nice game from him. Overall, this was a nice, clean win. Yes, this is just, you can say, oh, it's just against Astralis, whatever. Well, Astralis are 3-4 right now. They're not like the worst team in the LEC. They're a game behind Mad Lions, G2, and Vitality. This is Astralis. This is not like a SK or Team BDS. Astralis is almost clearly above those teams at this point. This is not the Astralis from the past couple of splits. All of a sudden, this team is much better with Jonghoon coming in and looking really good. Vizicachi hasn't been great, but he's been okay, and he's at least a veteran. Xerxes has been solid. Astralis isn't like a free win anymore, and they've been riding pretty high. So for Fnatic to come out and beat them and look so good against them, it wasn't like, oh, Fnatic's back, they beat Astralis, but it was like, hey, that's a good win for Fnatic. Fnatic, a good team. They should have these good, strong, convincing wins against those middle-of-the-pack teams like Astralis. But we were getting ready for El Clasico. We were getting ready for the big matchup against G2. Like, if Fnatic wants to be the team in Europe, if Fnatic wants to be a team that's going to win a title, if they want to be a team, that's going to go internationally and do big things, they got to start by beating G2 in their home soil. G2 is the team. Even though G2 hasn't looked that great so far in the summer split, and we'll definitely talk about that, whether it's MSI hangover, whether G2 is maybe a little overrated, maybe G2 is not all that, who knows? But I don't think it's going to show us. Oh, it is going to show the stats for this game. This was such a huge game in so many ways for Fnatic. They just came out and kind of punched G2 in the mouth. Jankos going 0-5-2, getting absolutely gapped by Razork. 9-1-3 on the Viego. Probably Razork's best game in a Fnatic uniform so far. Huge game from him. Wonder, so many people are giving him so much praise. It's crazy how good Hylissang is on Zilean, because it just doesn't seem like a Hylissang champion at all, but it seems like throughout all of 2022, he's been really, really good on the Zilean. Humanoid Deathless, Upset Deathless. I love the Twitch pick. Humanoid showing up on Ahri. And again, this is a G2 team who, went to MSI and they were good. They lost to some lower tier teams, but they punched up. They were able to take down, I believe they beat T1. They went 6-0 against EG. Now EG's looking pretty good in the LCS. The G2 team at their best is really, really good. Is this G2 at their best? No, I don't think so. But people have been waiting for like a big show up moment for Fnatic, and now they have the confidence and maybe like the mental advantage and edge to see like, hey guys, this is how good we can be. Wonder, at your best, you are a world-class top laner. Razork, at your best, you were an MVP candidate last year. Hylissang, you are an MVP candidate at your best. Humanoid, you are a multiple-time LEC champion. Upset, you are a guy who can be one of the best AD carries in the world. This Fnatic team, I do believe, and I still believe this right now, on paper, they are the most talented team in the LEC, and it has been so disappointing and so frustrating that we have not gotten to see these big, exciting moments from them. And after last weekend, again, losing to Mad Lions, Razork's tweeting all this stuff, the team wasn't looking great. It was looking like, oh no, Fnatic's doing this stuff again. They have a good team on paper, but they just can't get everything together. They can't get everything right. They have drama and weird stuff and disaster and mismanagement and all this weird stuff going on. But this weekend, they put it all together. Again, they look good against Astralis. They come out, look really good against G2. In some ways, it kind of sucks for them that we have this week off next week. And now some of the momentum that they have riding, they're not going to get to continue and carry on with. But also in a lot of ways, hey, now they get a week to, maybe relax, maybe de-stress, keep working on stuff, keep this fresh in their mind. And then they can come back, 2 weeks from now, ready to start up fresh, ready to start up again, and just kind of get rolling. I think this is so exciting. As somebody who just wants the West to succeed, I want to see the West do well. I want to see good games in the LEC and LCS. I think it's super fun to watch high-level competitive League of Legends. But I also want to see our teams do well internationally. I think this Fnatic roster is absolutely a team that could do something internationally, only if they're playing at their best. And like, man, this game just gave me a glimpse of how good this Fnatic team can look. And all of a sudden, last weekend, I was a little bit down on Fnatic, but all of a sudden, they're looking really good. If we take a look at the LEC standings, they're actually tied for first right now at 5-2. And their only 2 losses are to Mad Lions and Excel. That team's 4-3. That team's 5-2. It's not like they're losing to BDS. It's not like they're losing to SK. They've lost 2 teams to teams that are looking really good right now in the LEC. But man, the LEC is just an absolute mess. 6 teams separated by 1 game. 8 teams separated by 2 games. Just kind of a jumble. I hope that some teams start pulling away, because I don't think there's like 8 world-class teams in the LEC. I think, if you want to have a chance in international competition, you're going to have to start showing that you're kind of ahead above all these other guys. But yeah, Fnatic, last weekend, hey, maybe we can just mark it off to illness, sickness. Maybe it's COVID. Who knows what the heck's going on? But this week they, answered a lot of questions and looked really, really good. And I hope Wonder can keep this form. I hope Razor can keep this form. And I hope Fnatic can keep this form because this is pretty fun to watch and this is exciting. Like I said, I think this is the LEC's best shot at doing something at Worlds this year. And that's what I want. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Fnatic and what their shots are at maybe winning the LEC, maybe doing something at Worlds. I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hope we catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.